Hi there. Oh my gosh. And it's time for my favorite time of the week. Ask away. Whoop. But since we don't have any questions, we're going to do some celebrating. So there's a whole lot of celebrating to do while we wait. As you can see from the title, Coach Amy is going to be joining us any minute now. I sent her the link, and hopefully that link works. And if it doesn't, we'll figure it out. But she's getting married next weekend. Not only that, she's getting married to an ultra distance runner named Tim. And I don't know about y'all, but I thought since we might have a runner or two in this crowd, somebody might have a piece of advice, either for her or to pass on to her husband, because they don't call y'all ultra runner widows for nothing. So congratulations, Amy. You're actually technically about to become a widow. It's going to be amazing. But before we get there, I want to say a big congratulations to everybody who ran this weekend. There's been a lot of running. I guess it's been such a different marathon season because I'm not training for one, which when you're not in it, you're less aware of it. And when I still didn't really expect a lot of these bigger races to actually happen, it was hard to get really invested and pay attention. So I really haven't been. I'm still not convinced that New York's going to happen. I'm glad that Chicago happened, and I'm glad it went without a hitch. But I'm still like, I don't know, it's a good idea. We're going to see. But hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, as races across country, as we've been saying, have been canceling left, right, and center. But races that did not cancel and people who did not cancel include Tamara Paton, who just completed the virtual Boston, as well as Aaron Harkness, our own very own Aaron Harkness. I'm so proud of you, Aaron, especially considering didn't you have a baby like this calendar year? So that is just mind-blowing to me because I did that once. I had a baby at a marathon in the same year, and that was like 10 years ago, and I said I wouldn't do it again, and I haven't. I've kept that promise. So congratulations to you. Also, welcome back to Tamara. Now that she's finished, she has finished the Boston. She is segueing out of triathlon training for a little while to rejoin us over here in running while she continues to, bike a little bit and swim a little bit, but she wants to focus on running for a little bit. And we're very excited to have her back in the fold. So all of the other racers, because there are so many. So there's this thing called 3 Days at the Fair, where originally last year we were all going to try to do it together and make it a meetup before coronavirus became coronavirus. So here we are. So, it was moved several times, and a few of our runners were still able to make a go of it this time. And I'm so sad I was not able to join you guys, but I've never been more proud. We got Amanda Williams, completed 51 miles. Adrienne Holmes completed 105 miles. Melissa Heiser also completed 50 miles, and I think that was her first marathon, if I understand correctly. So her first marathon was actually a 50-miler. Well done. And then Francine Scheller, 126 miles. I can't get over that. 126 miles. Her goal was one more lap than what she did, I think, last time. So she was going for 102 and then felt good and kept on going. Speaking of things that feel good and keep on going, let's hope Coach Amy is able to do that because I'm about to pull her in the room here. So, yeah, congratulations to everybody who ran and everyone who raced Chicago despite the terrible heat. There's a reason I don't love that race, y'all. It's called heat. Everybody talks about, it's so flat. I'm like, can we talk about it's so hot and not in a sexy way? Woo! Then finally, Karina Terry had a great half marathon, and the name was just in my head, and it disappeared. I apologize, Karina. You're not less important. My fat finger also edited the Google Doc, and it disappeared off the Google Doc, and my brain is frozen right now with humiliation. So I apologize. I erased it right instead of announcing it, but I'm still that's just me being me here in a live camera moment. It has nothing to do with how much I love you, because I fucking do. I fucking love you so much. Congratulations. Speaking of people I love, yay! Hi! You're getting married. It's so weird.
I'm getting married. I cannot believe it.
I'm so excited. I'm excited because I didn't have to plan it. I don't have to live through it. I've done that once. It was hard. That was an ultra marathon in and of itself.
Yeah. My advice to everybody out there, elope. It's not worth it.
We could have told you that if you'd asked.
I've been saying elopement from the very beginning, but in a pandemic, and not really having weddings, it felt like we needed to do a wedding because we haven't seen a lot of our family. in the last year and a half. So we're like, okay, fine, let's
Got
see
it.
family. But also, I'm like, can we have just a load? Would have been a lot easier, but that's okay. It's gonna be beautiful. The food is like my most exciting part. I mean, it's exciting to get married and everything, but
No,
like
but it's the
the
food, the dress, the shoes. Yeah, the real stuff. The
the
stuff the guys are all
food.
like, oh, okay. And we're like,
Oh,
we can elope and have this.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The food's going to be amazing. The venue is beautiful. We're getting married in upstate New York on Friday. In upstate New York, their leaves are changing, so it's just absolutely beautiful up there. Just have to make it through 2 days of work and 1 day of parent-teacher conferences. Then hopefully Southwest does not cancel our flight.
I mean,
Because
it was
our
not ominous at all to see that all of the flights canceled for operational only on Southwest out of DIA today. I'm sure that didn't
yeah.
make you nervous at all.
Nope, and it didn't make me nervous when my grandmother was like, "I'm flying Southwest and Southwest is having issues." And I'm like, "Yes. Yes. I didn't need to be on that email. I didn't need to be on that email."
I'm the
So,
bride. I'm not the fixer, the
no.
closer, the problem solver, Santa Claus or Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that's even more true because it's my wedding. Like, this was a conversation I had to have with a lot of people that I was like, not my thing to fix right now.
Yep.
I am always the fixer. But today, I am not the fixer because it is my wedding. I'm not fixing it. I'm not doing it. Somebody else figure it out. Though I did figure out my mom's flights because that was a little bit difficult for her.
Moms. I'm like, I just know that I'm probably by everybody who works at Witness Protection would probably agree. I'm already that person who is like, MK couldn't figure this out, so we did it. Yeah, you're welcome. So I got to take these out. I forgot. I've been wearing clip-ons for so long. These are yours, by the way. And I was supposed to get them to you, but then Dove never came by. We crossed wires to pick up dresses and she. Anyway, so this is part of your wedding gift, and it's coming your way. Eventually, when you get back, you probably won't have a wedding.
Probably when I get back. Yeah. Speaking of earrings, I had my bachelorette last night, my last one, and I just realized. So I've got one dinosaur here. I don't got a dinosaur here, and
Fine.
It's like, how did I lose an earring?
You're gonna lose more than that. I lost my wedding dress on the way back. I don't know where it is. I have the jacket that goes with it. Not the dress. Dress is gone.
Okay. Well then.
All right. Got shoes.
Got
so
shoes.
That matters.
I also have shoes, but I maybe broke my toe falling out of a car. It's really not my fault, but it is completely my fault. I wear those Sanuk sandals all the time. They're like my favorite thing. And so like the sandal like got caught on the door and like all of the like different fabrics, they like split my toes and oh my God, it was horrible. And now I can't wear my wedding shoes because I have these beautiful blue suede shoes that I picked up back in January. And I try them on every single day. Last night I like taped my toes to see if I could maybe put them on. And I was like, nope. But I'm like, okay, you have till Friday. And my backup is a white pair of Birkenstocks because I'm like, all right, fine. If I'm not going to wear these blue suede shoes, then I'm going to wear these Birkenstocks.
Yeah. You won't be able to see it anyway.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah. So last night we had my bachelorette. We went to karaoke.
Yay.
And that was a blast. And then we went and had dinner at Rio. And then we went to like this, it was like a book bar. Like there were books everywhere, like the doors to the bathrooms, like was one of those like bookshelves that opens.
I want one of those in my house.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Where the book bar?
But it's called Roosevelt's. I don't know. I don't know how people say it here in Colorado. Roosevelt's. Oh man, it was great. We had a wonderful time. I'm not as hungover as I was expecting, but you know, it was a great time. I really enjoyed The karaoke was the best part. I think we laughed the most during karaoke.
Oh my God, I just found Roosevelt and I'm like, classic and modern cocktails poured in sleek digs, accentuated by library bookshelves. So Alex and I, this is my tip to making, because marriages work with the right person. It's really about like, it's not who's it going to be easy with, but who do I want to do this work with, and who is doing the work to be with me, because not all of us are picnics. I know, especially this girl, just saying. But he can't say he didn't know what he was getting into because he'd seen the worst of me.
Yes.
So has Tim seen the worst of you?
Oh, yes. Yes, he has. And there are times when I like come back, I'm like, you really choosing this? Like this? It's a lot sometimes. And yeah, he has seen very, very happy Amy, very, very angry, very, very sad. Unfortunately, very, very sad. Like, I mean, he has, there is not an emotion this man has not seen from me. And I emote big. I am a big emoter. Like, I have big feelings and I have big emotions.
Yeah.
And I
don't
have shame about them, but I have shame about them. I'm like, listen, that's who I am. I'm a big emoter. Like, I cry. I cry a lot.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's whether or not you're with the person that can receive that and be okay with it. Because it's not about you're too much, but rather like, I'm not comfortable with feelings, which would make him really the wrong person. So yay, he's good with feelings.
Yes. He's good with feelings. He doesn't know what to do with feelings, but he is very, very, very good with feelings. Like,
watch Ted Lasso. It's not about knowing what to do with other people's feelings. It's just being able to coexist with them.
Yes.
Which I think was the theme of season 2. I liked it, which I liked a lot.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe I canceled our Apple TV subscription. I was like, oh, there's nothing good. And then they come up with Ted Lasso. And I'm like, is it worth it to binge for, like a month, like pay for a month?
Yes.
Binge all of Ted Lasso.
Yes. I promise you, it is worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I say this as a person who does this. I will subscribe to Hulu to see Little Fires Everywhere and then be like, ooh, Celestine, I don't really like the point you're trying to make, and then let Hulu go. And then something else comes along. But I will do and cancel. Yes, baby, I'm working. I love you.
Hi. Is it Cheyenne?
I'm never really sure. But it was pizza night. And meaning we were going to make a pizza night. And I think everybody forgot that it was make a pizza night when the girl next door was like, I have balloons left over for my birthday party. And so I'm like, Alex, this is marriage. I've got to go work. You're going to have to pick up the remnants of the pizza party. The guilty remnants, and we'll figure it all out. But back to what I was saying, one of the things that we love doing, and I hate when people get really judgy about, I walked into a restaurant and everyone was on their phones. I'm like, we're parents. We don't get silence, and I don't get to read. Like, that's the one thing I've really, really, really missed. And as I look forward and I'm thinking, because now that this dramatic year has sort of ended in a way, and life is really starting to come back, not just for me, but for general, like we were all holding our breath waiting for the Delta variant. And now it's like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be another round of slap bet. Who knows? I'm looking down like spare time and I'm like, I can start reading again. Yay. And when we go to restaurants, our favorite thing is book date night. We will go with our Kindles and we just sit across from each other and eat and drink and read, and we'll stop to talk about what we're eating, drinking, and reading, but we'll just sit there and read and be near each other and hold hands for 3-4 hours on a Friday night. We love it.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
I think that is amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. I love that.
A lot of I find, and this is always my thing, I find the power of connecting comes from silence less than from the chatter. Like there's a lot of emphasis put on talking to connect, which can often it can backfire, especially if I'm much more introverted than I think a lot of people realize. That's why I have 4 kids. They entertain each other. I haven't talked to them all day long other than like, Mom, we need food. I'm like, it's there. Bye. For the most part, that is when we go out, we just kind of want to be alone in silence. So it's finding the person you can have that comfortable silence with that doesn't feel like you're being frozen out. or
Yes.
that when you are getting that frozen out silence, you can be like, what the fuck? Stop it.
Yeah, no, I think some of my best moments with Tim are like those moments where we're just in each other's presence. Like I very much like am big on, if you can't stand the silence with someone, you should not, like, that's
Yeah.
not, if you feel like you have to continually have to talk, like that's no. I mean, and I think that's when I knew I loved Tim, is that I was just so happy being in his presence and just laying there or sitting there or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is so wonderful.
Now you got to admit, there are going to be a whole lot of people watching this who've been married for a very long ass time who are going to be like, "What?" Because when the spouse was home all day long with kids, that was an adjustment last year, and a lot of people have not adjusted back to or out of that yet, and it's a lot. Even learning how to be around my husband 24/7, it was a lot. That was a learning curve. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. I think we're having that opposite problem. So Tim did not know pre-COVID Amy. And pre-COVID Amy is slowly coming out, but also I also am way more introverted than people. I am an introverted extrovert and way more extroverted than anything, but like I'm very, very, and I've noticed that I'm like, oh, I really just want to be at home with Tim and like silent, but also I'm gonna stay out till 2 in the morning and have the time of my life. And I'm gonna go and I play cards and I'm gonna do this on this day and this, and so he's like, you're busy. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not as busy as I used to be because I just want to come home. And I just want to kind of hang out with you. But he's kind of had to adjust to like, oh, Amy has friends and she goes out and does things. And Amy is very, very, very independent. I spent 2 weeks at the beginning of the summer, like camping by myself. And
I remember. That was impressive.
his, his older brother was like, are you guys okay? Are y'all still getting married? And Tim was like, yeah, that's just who she is. She goes and camps by herself.
She's in the woods. I get it.
Like that's her thing. She goes and does that. So it was very funny. And the icing us out thing, Tim and I had like just this great, like, we test the water when we're icing each other out, where we say, are you done? And it's in that tone. It is, are you done?
Just like you do with your kids.
And if I'm not done, it reinvigorates everything. But if I am done, we fall over laughing about, because, so fun fact, Amy lost her keys last night. It is not her fault, but it is her fault. So I didn't drive last night or anything. So my maid of honor picked me up and took me to karaoke. Then another bridesmaid took me to dinner. And then another bridesmaid took me home. So I had keys at some point to my car, and I am house sitting right now. And so I had the keys to my car, but I didn't really need the keys in my car, and so I lost them between the 3 cars. So this morning we're at the house that we're house sitting at, and I'm just like, honey, have you seen my keys? And he's like, no. And then I'm like, we tear this house apart trying to find these keys. And it ends up being a fight. He's, how could you have left your keys? Where are? And I'm like, I was in 3 different cars. I have no. So he got mad. And so I'm hungover. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take a nap all afternoon because I'm hungover. And he is, you're wasting our last Sunday together as an unmarried couple because you're hungover. And I'm like, okay, well, yep, I am. So he went off running, and I didn't know he went off running because he's mad at me and he's icing me out. And so I texted him. I was like, are you done? And he called me immediately and he was like, yes, I am. Like it was just like, good. We can ice each other out and not talk to each other. And then it's just like, are you done? And And like, because if you're not done, like, it reinvigorates the entire fight, or you just bust out laughing. And he busted out laughing as soon as he saw that text that said, "Are you done?" Because I don't,
But that was my final, that kind of leads into my final big piece of advice, which if you're joining the broadcast, any advice that you have for Amy and Tim getting married, please put it in the comments. We're going to be celebrating all week long and asking for comments all over Instagram with some amazing photos of Amy that we're going to be celebrating throughout the years. But something that we did that we took away from our Wharton Business School training was operating principles. And those operating principles have never changed. They're on a wall that you can't see here. But we agreed we would never go to bed with an unresolved fight, and we would never, and there's no drunk clause in there. If you are drunk and pick the fight, I have every right to, like, that's going to be a separate conversation, but that's also going to be a really big deal. We agreed that there is no freezing out. It's, I have a problem and and you did this, which hurt me in this way. And we've never really had to, I am against the passive, there is no passive in my aggression. I refuse. Yeah. It is, if I'm upset, you will know it, and we're going to work it out, or I'm going to make sure that what conditions need to be met before I'm able to work it out. Like, I need to talk to my therapist first, because I'm not entirely sure this is all you, but this is a whole lot you right now. So, but luckily with him traveling, those were so few and far between for the first time. But we'll pull out, make a copy, and show you like our operating principles, and we sort of have adhered to them and agreed to them on our wedding day. And it's just sort of how to fight fair. Me, when it comes to my my marathon course strategy, it's never about this is what you do. It's like, here are the boundaries. Don't go out of bounds. So our operating principle is to find the boundaries. And like, if this is a line and it's a line, you can't say you didn't know it was a line. And if you cross this line, the game will change. And I would rather, let's make sure it doesn't get there. So I would recommend taking the time to do the same and just sort of like formalize it, because anytime that you got something that you aren't able to reconcile, you can go back to the boundaries and make sure.
I love that.
And the final thing that we're going to be getting you, and they're being inscribed. They were not here on time, like Etsy. Forget Etsy; it was supposed to be here already. But he and I got you something that was given to us on our wedding day, and they're called love mugs. And it literally has it. So in those moments when you are trying to work something out that might be bigger, it would be easier to like break something and walk out the door. We would encourage you to instead come back to these mugs and remember that there is something there's very little that cannot be decided or worked out over coffee specifically, because there are other things that you do not need to be consuming while you work out the serious problems.
Yes. I am very lucky that he is sober. And I
say not to shame anyone into drinking. That was specific to us.
Yeah.
When we got married.
I am and it's specific to us as well, that he is sober. And the control of drinking on both of our lives is definitely something that we both had to fight with, and we both had to, and for him it was sobriety. For me, it's it's smaller doses and only on special occasion type things.
I gotta say, my favorite thing about all of this and watching you get hitched is that you did not try to reduce your body size to fit into a dress, and that you've not made any discernible changes. You were not like, MK, I'm on the wedding plan, which I've gotten from people before. And if you had said any of these things, I would have like inwardly kind of, I'm always going to help people reach their goals. I am so glad that yours had nothing to do with your fabulous fucking gorgeous body.
Yeah. I did do something drastic though. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but
I see your nails and hair color.
And that hair color. I went back natural. I'm not blonde anymore. But
I love it.
Yeah. No,
and your nails look amazing.
I know. I love them. They are so pretty. No, from the beginning, I was like, I am not going to change my body for this wedding. I'm not going on diets. I'm like, nope. I'm going to exercise and move my body how I want to. And that's the end of it. If I lose weight, cool. And if I don't lose weight, cool. Like, fine. It doesn't matter. And I do have a friend who is like jumping on the "Oh, I have to lose weight for the wedding." I'm like, "What for? You're gonna put it all back on. Like, what for?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm wonderful the way I am, okay? um, and so, yeah, no, I was very adamant. Like, there's not dieting at all for this wedding at all. The dress is gorgeous. It is beautiful, and it was purposely like picked that if my weight did fluctuate bigger, that you wouldn't be able to tell. So
Nice.
yeah, so
I love it. Well, we are so excited for you. All of us are super excited. I know, especially me. I mean, me mostest because I love you the mostest and know you the bestest, but no one deserves this happiness or such an amazing day. And I'm sorry we can't be there. Wish we could. We love you.
yes,
1,000%, 10,000%, and we will get all these gifts to you eventually, but probably not till you come back. You are coached. You are loved. Go win at your lives together. Yay! I heard them coming through the door, so probably the broadcast.
Eyeshadow. Ooh, look at that bright pink.
Are you guys making the pizza yet? No. You want a baguette? Yeah, we've been reading Nanette's baguette, and we finally got the gluten-free baguettes back today.
Oh,
so
nice.
very important things to do. Yeah.
Right.
Well, everybody, give your best advice to Coach Amy and wish her luck as she starts her marathon of a week, the wedding week. Yay!
Wedding week.
Yay!